Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to another book chat. Sorry about the light. I haven't quite figured out the best place to sit here, and it's a really bright, sunny day, obviously. Okay, so book chat time. I really don't have much to chat about because I've pretty much just been reading the same book series since the last time I did this. But I thought, it being a while since I've done a video, I would do a video. Um, and I may as well show you where I am. As you may have guessed, still New Zealand, winter, can't you tell? uh, and that is the current garden that we're in. Trying not to get the top of my head, and down that way as well, which is all very pretty. So yes, in North Island of New Zealand, and shall be here for the moment. Foreseeable future, I don't know. We'll say for the moment. And yeah, I've been here about a week now. And if you've been following me on social media, you'll see I've been sharing some photos from my runs, which where we were before was right in the Bay of Islands on the kind of waterfront there. So I was able to run along the waterfront path every morning. So I thought, we're kind of inland. I mean, I know there's a river and stuff, but it's just not going to be the same. Anyway, I went for my first run yesterday and I saw three different waterfalls. So that's okay. I can deal with waterfalls and bush and yeah, lots of lovely little ups and downs and nice rough tracks and yeah, that was okay. That was good. Anyway, so talking books. As I say, I don't actually have a lot to talk about at the moment. So Lindsay Buroker. Now, I'm not going to go through and show you every single one of the covers because that's book 8. That's the last book in the series. And I cannot actually remember the last time I picked up a series and I read straight through from book 1 to the end without taking a break in the middle. I think I might have done that with sort of some of Rick Riordan's series because I love them as well. But they are, I think the longest was 5 books. That was 8. Some of them were quite long. But it has been awesome and it's completely made me fall in love with sci-fi again. I used to read a lot of sci-fi, a lot of horror, and these are two things I've kind of got out of the habit with recently. Horror because there seems to be a lot of the horror I've picked up, there seems to be a misconception that horror is gore. And to me, horror is not gore. Horror is suspense. Horror is the hidden thing in the shadows that you can't quite see, but you know is there. It's suggestion and letting your mind do the work, so that when the time comes to reveal the monster, it's really terrifying. Whereas half the horror I seem to pick up at the moment is just like, oh, we're just throwing a bunch of blood and splatter and gore around everywhere and call it good. Doesn't do it for me. And sci-fi, sorry, small plane. Only little ones, quite cute. And sci-fi for me I find it a bit too heavy on the dramatics and the heroics and the technical detail and that sort of thing. I like character-driven sci-fi, but not at the expense of the action. I want both. Not that I'm fussy or anything. Man, I'm fussy. I'm so fussy. um, so, character-driven sci-fi. Lindsay Buroker does this brilliantly. The characters were fantastic. The heroes were not your conventional heroes. They had, I don't even want to call them flaws, they had quirks that made them most definitely not who you would consider to be a normal hero. Normal hero. But those quirks became their strengths, and that was the beauty of it, that it wasn't just, oh, they've overcome despite this. It's they are doing this, they're performing these heroic acts because they are different and not the same as other people. And it was beautiful. I thought that was fantastic. It was great friendships all the way through. There was romance, but it was my sort of romance, which is to say, it didn't really affect the story too much. And it was more about friendship first, which was the most important thing as far as I was concerned. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed her Star Kingdom series, and I recommend it unreservedly if that sounds like your thing. As far as technical aspects, there really weren't very many. It was my sort of sci-fi. It was kind of like, there's these gates, they work, they were put there by ancient humans possibly, or maybe not, we don't really know, but they work and let us jump from other galaxies to the other, and let's not go into too much detail about that. So yeah, really enjoyed it. I will also right now recommend her Death Before Dragons series, which I'm probably going to go back to soon. That was a bit heavier on the romance. It's an urban fantasy, and it had that sort of side of it, which a lot of urban fantasy does. But to me, again, it didn't overwhelm the story. So I've read, I think, 3 of those. So I'll probably go back and read the others. And I'll definitely be looking at some of her other sci-fi. Overall, I think she's a great writer. She has fantastic characters, great world building without it being drowning in description, and yeah, good writing throughout. So yeah, although I've tried some of her fantasy books and they haven't been as much to my taste because they've been heavier on the romance mostly, still don't hesitate to recommend her at all. So look up Lindsay Buroker if you haven't done already. Star Kingdom, fantastic series. So having read that, I was going to say on to something completely different, but it wasn't really all that completely different, because what I then went on to, oh no, now I'm not going to be able to find it. I will, wait, bear with me. I've also got a massive TBR now because I've been reading just her books for over a month now, and I still keep buying lots of other books, which I don't need. So, good. Although I'm going to ask you to recommend books at the end of this, bear with me because it might be a while till I get to them. So, The Zoologist's Guide to the Galaxy, by Dr. Eric Kirschenbaum. What animals on Earth reveal about aliens and ourselves. So, I've only been reading this for a few days. It's interesting. It's well written, as in it's not too dry. So it feels very accessible. And basically, what it is it's by looking at natural selection and how life arose on Earth, what could we expect by looking at the pressures of that same natural selection as it arises on other planets. So these, yeah, judging by how far I've gone, that's where I'm pretty sure the story's heading. So it is interesting, it is accessible. I don't know how legitimate it is, but I'm finding it a really interesting read, and the thought processes behind it make a lot of sense to me. As far as, yeah, life arises and evolves through natural selection, so that seems to be a universal. So how would that happen if we had different forces of natural selection, different environments? How would life then arise there, and what adaptations would be advantageous for them there would then be carried on to the next generation? So I shall let you know how that one goes. And that is about all for me, lovely people. So, short one. I don't have much to say except go and read Lindsay Buroker. Come on. Yes. My only other question then is, what have you been reading? What books would you recommend? I'm definitely back in my sci-fi, so if you have those ones which have got a good balance of character and action and not too much techie detail, let me know. And also, if you have any horror, which is actual proper suspense, horror, scary stuff, not blood and guts and gore. I don't mind a bit, but it has to be appropriate to the story. I mean, come on. And if you heard those wings go past, there are loads of birds here. Someone's got a leaf blower on across the road. But I will try and get a video in the morning when I come out to do yoga, because there's a couple of tuis that come and they eat from the trees here, and it's absolutely beautiful to see. It is a really lovely spot. So, wherever you are, lovely people, I hope you are staying safe and looking after yourself, keeping warm if you're on this side of the world, staying cool if you're on the other side of the world, and reading lots of good books. And yeah, let me know what your recent reads have been below, and we'll speak to you soon.